Now, this is it. So, here is it. Prospectus of for the Liberator. What is the Liberator? The Liberator is a newspaper, was published to finish and abolish slavery. If you lived on that time, girls, like how many years ago? 1831. So how many years ago? Like 200 years ago? Yes. If you lived on that time, 200 years ago, and you have slaves, and you have your farm, and you have slaves, and they harvest the land, they help you in the household, they do everything instead of you. Would you ever take a step to end the slavery?
Yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be dangerous for your life to publish something against the
Yeah,
No,
because
because
in
everyone, a
Arab
lot of
world
people
we don't
suffer.
have much slavery in Arab world, and it
yes
would be easy somehow.
we had before the old time before Islam prevents slavery.
No, but when I will live at that time, Islam will
ما
be
هو
there.
yeah, Maya, the question is, if you live there 200 years ago, if you are living there, if you are part of the American society, would you ever think to stop and prevent slavery?
Yes, obviously,
I
yes.
want you to think closely.
Think with their mindsets. I'd
Yes,
probably know.
yes, with their mindsets. Excellent. You would
No,
probably agree or
it should
refuse.
be no. But I think I agree
But
with
still,
Teacher,
if we have our own
teacher, it
beliefs,
depends
we're
on the
fine, for
people
example.
around me.
Because it
Depends.
should be dangerous for when you publish something.
It will be, of course, it is so dangerous to publish something to challenge the whole country.
Yes,
Yes, it's
Yeah.
still dangerous, but I feel like someone has to take a step. You can't stay like this.
Yeah, someone has to take a step.
Yeah.
Excellent. You cannot stay like this. Excellent. And you know what? Who said you have to take a step?
Nancy.
Nancy.
Nancy, you know what? This is the exact sentence or statement that you are going to watch after a while. That he said to him, you have to start the spark. So the Liberator was the, and this is a copy of it. See, 200 years ago. The Liberator, okay,
So the meaning of
abolitionist.
Liberator, it's a newspaper.
Yes, the Liberator is the newspaper. It was published to finish slavery. And see, outrage, anger, and abolitionists, those who want to end it. Okay? And I cannot read in the middle, but at the end, the union. So these are papers since that time, since the other people started to stop what the community has lived as like hundreds of years, hundreds, maybe like 50 years before that, the establishment of America. So Liberator was the first step, the first newspaper to publish. I will tell you what. Do you ever think of publishing anything against your community or your traditions?
If it was
Now,
yes,
now,
yeah.
what are the things you would
Sometimes.
like to change?
Miss, for example, slavery still goes on in Libya today. There's still slavery there.
Lily?
Yes, and in some countries they have child trafficking and women like trafficking.
Yeah, I know child and women, but they are not slaves. They are poor.
True, yeah. But
They
like
are
in
very poor.
Libya, I heard that slavery is still a thing there. No one, like even the government, no one's talking about it.
Yes, because it's the first time I ever hear about it. So, what are the things, girls, if you have the power to change anything, what would be that thing to change? Think. Grade
Probably
11.
like
Grade 11, you are 1 year to college. You have to set up your own
There's
mind.
this, I feel like there's another form of slavery now that these large industries are making poor people in poor countries work,
Yes,
overworked, and underpaid.
yes. work,
example,
yes.
if
It's
police, let's say for example, they would charge a black person like a death penalty and a white person for the same crime would only take like 5 years in prison. That's an example of slavery.
yes, yes. This is the if a black man, even if the white man is accused, they set him free and they take the black man, even if the
Yeah.
black man didn't do anything.
There's still racism, a lot of racism in America. Not all of
Yes,
it has disappeared.
yes, yes. Because they said that after years, there was this speech that Martin Luther King said. He said that 100 years ago we signed the Emancipation Proclamation, but we still suffer till now. يعني the speech Martin Luther King said to end this discrimination, because even after they finished the slavery, black people was forced to sit in a place and white people in another place, and they are not allowed to join colleges. So they were not easily freed. By signing Emancipation Proclamation, they were not easily freed. Okay, so here abolitionist movement. Abolitionist movement is the movement to finish slavery, and this is the motto. Am I not a man and a brother? Am I not a woman and a sister? In the United States, the abolition movement began in the 1830s, when from the North, churches began to question the morality of slavery. When people, because as I said again, at that time, people were so religious. Okay, so the church began to ask, is that moral? Having slaves? Through the decades, the movement gained pace, contributing to regional tension and ultimately leading to civil war. The main reason for civil war was to end slavery. And these are, this is Frederick Douglass, and this is, I forgot his name, William Lloyd Garrison. This is a white man. William Lloyd Garrison is a white man, and Frederick Douglass, as you can see, is a black man. And after a while, we'll see a conversation between both of them in a movie, of course. This is abolitionist movement, how it is sorted. So this is William Lloyd Garrison. He, of course, he's a white man, because black people at that time didn't have any rights to write or talk or speak or breathe even. So are you with me, girls?
Yes.
Yeah.
لين مطر لين مطر عهد ليال.
Can I read?
Yes, read. Who are you, dear?
Yes. Nirvana.
Okay, Nirvana, read, and then Layal will read after you.
Okay.
Yes.
William Lloyd Garrison. William Lloyd Garrison put out the first issue of the Liberator on January 1st, 1831. The radical tone of the paper was unprecedented because it labeled slaveholding a crime and called for immediate abolition.
Yes, it was for the community because he called the slaveholding a crime and called for immediate abolition to stop it.
When the Nat Turner Rebellion of August 1831 escalated Southern fears of slave uprisings, some Southern states passed laws making circulation of the Liberator a crime and called for prosecution of Garrison.
Yes, they called the Liberator is a crime, and they called for prosecution of Garrison.
Although he had detractors.
ندى.
Yes.
ندى.
Yes.
Miss Mike عهد ولين خربان.
The two?
Yes.
Why? Because they are cousins or what?
لا مستصعبين عند بعض.
Where? At Ahed's room or Lean's room?
لا بيتهم.
Okay. Yes, continue. Okay, thank you, Nirvana. Let Layal, or no, you read this and Layal will read from the book. Continue.
Okay. Although he had detractors, Garrison quickly became a noted leader of the anti-slavery movement and helped launch the American Anti-Slavery Society in Philadelphia in 1833. Until he ceased its publication in 1865, Garrison employed the Liberator to advance militant anti-slavery views. He especially opposed African colonization.
Yes. So this is William Lloyd Garrison, and what we are going to read now is Prospectus for the Liberator. Prospectus is newspaper for the Liberator. Liberator is its title. Okay. So Layal, thank you, Nirvana. Layal, read page 65 here, Layal.
Okay. Picture from the
Assenting. Yes, assenting.
Assenting to the self-evident truth maintained in the American Declaration of Independence that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain
Inalienable rights, yes.
Among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I shall
strenuously
contend for the immediate
enfranchisement
of our slave population.
Okay, wait here, guys. Here he starts talking about what? When America was declared as again, America is a land of immigrant people. It was a land, and people from Europe heard about that there is a land, so they immigrated from England to America and they settled there. And then, but they were not a separated country. They were not a country for itself. They were colonies for America, for Britain, colonies. So then they agreed and they sent a letter to Britain and they wanted to separate. And then established the United States of America. The establishment of the United States of America was written in the Declaration of Independence. Declaration of Independence. Independence is when you are an independent country. And on that day, it was called United States of America. Establishment of the country, United States of America. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Establishment of United States of America, the country, okay. When you establish a country, you write its laws, right or not?
Yes.
Yes. What is a part of the law? That all of us are equal, okay, and the men are created equal and endowed by their creator. Creator is God, with certain inalienable rights, without any foreign or inalienable. Alien is foreign and in is the opposite of it. It means that all of us are equal in front of our creator, and three things we deserve in life: life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. These are the three rights of a man. Your right, my right is to live, my right is to be free, liberty, my right is to pursuit of happiness, to pursue happiness, to walk out, to follow happiness. These are the three rights of a man.
Yes.
Life, liberty,
and
pursuit of happiness. So he says he started by what? By referring to the Independence, Declaration of Independence. He started with declaring the Declaration of Independence, and he said the three rights for any man live in the United States. This is how he started the passage, and this is what, girls, this is argumentative essay to convince people. This is rhetoric device to convince people with your opinion, to influence them. I shall strenuously contend for the immediate enfranchisement. What is this meaning? Enfranchisement means freedom. Immediate freedom of our slave population. In Park Street Church on, okay, continue, Layal. In Park Street Church.
In Park Street Church on the 4th of July 1829, in an address on slavery,
where is it, Amla? Yes, in an address of slavery, I unreflectingly ascended to the popular but pernicious to the popular but pernicious doctrine. Doctrine is what, girls? Doctrine is regime. Doctrine is regime related to the law. Are you writing those unfamiliar words or not, girls?
Yes, Miss. What does pernicious mean?
Pernicious is harmful. Okay, in an address of where am I? In an address on slavery, I unreflectingly assented to the popular but pernicious. Pernicious is harmful. Doctrine is regime, a law, harmful law. Pernicious doctrine. You understand, girls, or not?
Yes.
Pernicious is causing harm. Doctrine of gradual abolition. Don't say gradual abolition here. Don't be gradual. We want to end it right now. We want to wake up in the morning and we don't find slaves anymore. We are citizens. But gradual is no. Okay? Thank you, Layal. Malak Al-Haj, your mic is working?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, read, Malak.
The second paragraph.
I seized this opportunity, yes.
I seized this opportunity make a full of
Unequivocal.
unequivocal
recantation. Unequivocal, it means clear. Not equivocal, it means not absurd, so it is clear. I make a full and declare. Recantation is with to withdraw a statement. Recantation is an opening. Okay? And thus, yes?
and thus publicly to ask pardon of my God, of my country.
I ask pardon of my God. Again, he uses sentences related to God. Yes, or of my God, of my country, and of my,
brethren that poor slaves.
Yes, brethren of my brethren, like brothers, a fellow member. Brethren, the poor slaves. So I ask pardon. I want I want God to forgive me. I want my country to forgive me, and I want my brothers, the slaves, to forgive me.
What does brethren mean?
Yes.
What does brethren mean?
Brothers, fellow. For having uttered a sentiment so full of timidity, injustice, and absurdity. Absurdity when you don't have a clear look. Absurd. And timid, so strict. Timidity, injustice. Strict injustice. Not strict justice, injustice. When there is no equality. And absurdity. Absurdity is lack of seeing. Continue, Malak.
I am aware of many objects that to the severity of my language, but is there not cause of severity? I will be as
For
harsh.
severity. What is for severity? Severity is harshness. Harshness.
I will be as harsh as truth.
Underline it, please. I will be as harsh as truth, because truth is always harsh and truth is always hard. I will be as harsh as truth.
Yes, which line is this?
We are in page 66, second line.
Oh.
Miss, that's a simile, right?
Yes, yes.
And as uncompromising.
Uncompromising. I will not give any compromises. I will be uncompromising.
On this subject, I do not wish to think or speak or write with moderation.
Yes,
no.
In this subject, I will not be moderate person. I will be as harsh as reality, as truth. I will be uncompromising as justice, because justice doesn't give compromises. I will not be moderate. No.
No. Tell the
Yes.
man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm. Tell
Yes.
him.
I will not be a moderate. You go and tell a man when his house is on fire to be moderate.
Tell him to moderately
Rescue.
rescue his wife from the hands of the
Ravisher. Ravisher are those who took his house by force. If people are coming to your house and they are taking it by force, these are called ravisher. So go tell them, tell those ravish, go and tell the man whose wife in the hand of those ravisher to act moderately, but I will not act moderately.
Tell the mother to gradually extract her baby from the fire into which it has fallen.
Yes, go and you tell a mother whose baby has fallen into fire and she will rescue him to be a moderate. Of course, in these three cases, you will never be a moderate. He wants to show you that in these three cases, you go and tell them to be moderate, but I will never be moderate. It means that my case is worse than all these three cases. He is talking to what he is talking to the mankind, because a man's house is his white, is his precious thing. A man's wife is his what? His honor. He can't leave his wife in the hands of ravisher. It's his honor as a man. And the woman's baby is the precious thing on earth. So he is talking that these three things are less important than the topic I'm talking about, the subject I want to say today. Yes, thank you, Malak. Serena? So please, I want you to underline, tell a man whose house is on fire, tell fallen. I want you to underline these 5 lines, please. Serena, continue reading from but urge me not.
Because I told them to send the pages. I'm gonna see which page.
No, okay, Serena, follow please. Tia.
Oh, it's page. I know it's page 25.
66, Tia.
Yes, miss.
Continue reading, Tia, from but urge me not.
Yeah, and page 66, right, miss?
Yes, Tia. Because you were not following Serena and Tia, you were not following.
I'm following. Wallah,
Yes,
can
I
I?
was following, but I thought because Serena said, but then you didn't let her read. That's why I thought we were in a different
Okay, okay, Tia, okay. So, Tia and Serena. So, Serena, let her read. Serena, she will read, and then Tia after her. Okay, but urge, yeah, Serena, from urge me.
To use moderation in a cause like the present. I am in earnest.
Serious. I am in earnest, mean I am serious.
I will not
Equivocate. I will not equivocate.
I will not excuse. I will not retreat a single inch.
I will not retreat a single inch. I will not.
And I will be heard.
This is very important, even it's capitalized. And I will be heard.
The apathy of the people is enough to make every status leap from its pedestal.
Yes, the apathy is the absence of passion, that you have no sympathy. The apathy of people is enough to make every state you leap from its pedestal. Pedestal means a support for, a support. This is supporting this, a support.
Yeah.
To hasten the resurrection of the dead.
And to fasten the resurrection. What we said, resurrection, rebellion of the dead. Yes, thank you, Serena. Okay, Tia.
It's pretended that I'm retarding the cause of emancipation by the coarseness of my invective and the precipitancy of my measures.
Okay, what does it mean? It is pretended that I am retarding the cause of emancipation. The reason of the emancipation is to free slaves by the coarseness. Coarseness is the lack of harshness. Lack, yani it's not harsh. No, coarseness means harshness. Coarseness means lack of kindness. So coarseness means harshness. So by the harshness of my invective, invective here means harsh, even and insulting words. So the harshness of my words And the precipitancy, it means undue hastiness or suddenness. Suddenness of my measure. Continue.
The charge is not true. On this question my influence, humble as it is felt at the moment to be to a considerable extent, and shall be felt in coming years, not perniciously.
Perniciously, it means not harmfully,
not as a curse, but as a blessing. And posterity will bear testimony that
for posterity's future generation, posterity will bear testimony, they will witness. Yani they will say that what we did now, it was the better, was the best.
I desire to thank God that He enables me to disregard the fear of man which
brings a thing. Carry with brings, it means to carry a snare.
And to speak His truth in its simplicity and power.
Yes, I thank God. I want to thank God that He enables me. He gives me the ability to disregard the fear of a man which carries a snare and to speak his truth. So I thank God that He let me speak the truth. Who wrote this, girls? William Lloyd Garrison. I want to show you something here. I will show you this, girls. I will show you I will share my screen with you. Here is it, girls. This is here is it? The African American mosaic, conflict of the abolition and slavery. Here is an early copy of the Liberator, as I showed you. A copy of the Liberator. There was an abolitionist song. See in their handwritings. Okay, so I want to show you another thing. You see my YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just waiting.
Yes.
Okay.
I was raised by my grandmother.
Girls, this is a conversation between Frederick Douglass, okay, and but you know what? I will show you the other one first. The other one is talking about. Wait. This is much better. You see what? You still see? Oh, wait. I will stop this and share another one. Girls, you hear? Do you hear?
No.
No. Share it again with
No.
the voice. Okay. Do you hear now?
Yes.
كمان no. بس I can't hear, miss.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
خلاص. Yes.
As the daughter of one of South Carolina's first families, Angelina Grimke lived in almost unimaginable luxury. In the 1820s, Charleston's aristocracy was one of the wealthiest societies on earth. But Angelina found it almost unbearable. An empire of sin.
The story goes that each of them in the family had their own personal slave behind them when they ate dinner. And if the salt and pepper were next to the person sitting next to you, you didn't ask them to pass it. Your slave got it from his slave and gave it to you. There was nothing that you had to do, that there wasn't a slave who took care of it for you.
Did you hear last night?
Hear what?
Really?
Angelina, what are you talking about?
You know, Henry, he whipped John again.
I told you before, dear. That's Henry's business.
Angelina attacked slavery, not in the beginning because she cared about the slaves.
It is Henry's business.
You know, she was really concerned about the fate of their white masters.
I ask you to leave him alone.
He's my brother.
Yes, I know.
She believed slavery was a sin and that God would punish people who had slaves.
Mother, it is my duty to bear testimony
Angelina,
against...
mind your own business.
It is my business, and it's your business too. How can you stand in church every week?
Let it be.
I can't let it be. Have you no Christian feelings?
Yes, Angelina, I have Christian feelings, and you are putting them to the test right now. My soul will be judged by the Lord, and not by you or anyone else.
It is my duty.
It is not your duty, Angelina. I'm glad, I suppose, that you are so diligent about your faith. But leave my soul to me, and Henry's to Henry.
I speak the truth in love.
Enough!
Mother. Mother. Mother, listen to me. Mother!
Angelina's religious search was tortured. She was more or less on her own as she struggled with very deep and troubling issues about herself and her relationship to God.
In the fall of 1829, Grimke resolved to leave Charleston and the pollutions of slavery for an uncertain future in the North.
There's a kind of fearlessness about Angelina Grimke. Women did not strike out. White women did not strike out on their own in this way, and Southern white women certainly did not. This is disobedience to proper society, to the South, to the church.
Frederick Douglass was alone in a terrifying new world. A few weeks earlier, the 6-year-old had been delivered to his master's home on Maryland's eastern shore to begin his life as a slave. His first experience of slavery would haunt him to his grave.
Aunt Hester went out one night, happened to be absent when the master desired her presence. No words, no tears, no prayers seemed to move his iron heart. The louder she screamed, the harder he whipped. And where the blood ran fastest, there he whipped longest. He would whip to make her scream and whip to make her hush. I dared not venture out till long after it was over. It was the blood-stained gate, the entrance to the hell of slavery.
Frederick Douglass and Angelina Grimke lived at opposite poles of one of the largest slave societies in history. In the late 1820s, there were 2 million men, women, and children living in bondage in the United States. In the 50 years since the Revolution, every northern state had outlawed slavery. It had once seemed likely that it would disappear in the South as well, but no more. The invention of the cotton gin had led to a massive increase in cotton production, making
in the nation's political and economic life. What is seen as this sort of idiosyncratic, peculiar Southern institution actually had an enormous economic significance in the national economy of the United States.
Slaves were the single largest financial asset in the entire American economy, worth more than all manufacturing, all railroad, steamship lines, and other transportation systems put together.
You see this important point, girls? Hello, grade 11. You left me? Where are you?
No, Miss, we're here.
Again, focus with this again. The manufacture, the railroad, the harvesting of cotton, the economy of America depended on the slaves.
All railroad, steamship lines, and other transportation systems put together. The only thing in the American economy worth more as simply a financial asset was the land itself. And no one really quite knows how to value, North America.
the only voices advocating the abolition of slavery were black. Their frustration was growing, and some of them were becoming more militant. But no one in power was listening. As of yet, no white Americans could imagine turning millions of dollars worth of slaves into millions of black compatriots. But scattered around the country, a few lonely souls were convinced that slavery was a crime against God and man. And in Boston, one of them was coming to understand that God intended he do something about it. William Lloyd Garrison felt that he was destined to do great things, but he had no idea how to get there. In 1828, he was 22 years old, newly arrived in the city from his hometown of Newburyport. Garrison's father, a seaman and a drunk, had abandoned the family when Garrison was 2 years old. Plunged into poverty, Garrison's mother left her children for years on end as she looked for work. But in their time together, she managed to drum a fierce Christian conscience into her son.
William Lloyd Garrison's religious background was not just a background. It was at the core of who he was. It was an indwelling spirit inside of him that constantly thought about making God's will come into being on this earth.
Shortly after arriving in Boston, Garrison happened to meet an itinerant publisher who was raising money for his one-man anti-slavery newspaper.
This is William Girls, the author of the Liberator, the publisher of the Liberator. Are you with me, Girls, or you?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
William.
Garrison was horrified by descriptions of the slave pens, where men, women, and children were held awaiting shipment further south. And to think that ending slavery was the cause that could give meaning to his life.
Okay. Next time? Yes, because I took from that, yes, huh?
There is the movie.
Yes.
Like that. What's called? Liberator?
What dear?
Miss this video.
The name of the movie.
Wait a minute. There is a voice I can't. Yes, girls. Huh.
What's the name of the movie?
Listen, I can't hear you because something is speaking and I don't know where is it. I took a lot of your time for next period. I can't hear.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye, miss.